Hello, my name is Caitlin, and today I'm going to talk about Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. Ruby Gillman is just one of those movies this summer that people just didn't care about upon arrival. And to be completely fair, the marketing was absolutely awful for this movie. I don't think we even got a trailer for it until like 3 months before the movie actually came out. And now, a month after the movie released in theaters, it's already out there on streaming services. It really feels like DreamWorks just threw it out there and did not care, which on one hand I'm kind of glad about, because if they didn't release this movie, it would have just been a footnote in lost media or canceled project. Like that Disney movie about Jack and the Beanstalk, but it's a guy and some like 8-year-old giant. Speaking of trailers, if you saw the trailer, like many trailers nowadays, it gives way too much away. Ruby is an awkward teenage girl and she meets Chelsea, a mermaid, and wouldn't you know it, Chelsea's the bad guy. You might think there's like more to the story than that, but if you actually watch the movie, Ruby's an awkward teenager who wants to go to prom. She has really annoying human friends that you're not really going to care about. Then she becomes friends with Chelsea, a mermaid, and shocker, she's evil and tricks Ruby into getting her some trident to overthrow her queen grandmother. But the trailer telling you way too much is really whoever designed trailer's fault. The movie is pretty okay. It's a very mid-tier movie, which some people don't really like because of how Puss in Boots was so great and the animation and the story and whatever. But this isn't Puss in Boots, it's Ruby Gillman. And the studio has like dozens of movies out right now. They're all different levels of quality, and that's totally fine. We don't need a studio to be like Pixar where everyone has such high expectations of them that even if the movie is good, it's not meeting up to like anyone's standards. So yeah, the story's like pretty juvenile. I think it was aimed at young kids. And honestly, you're not gonna really look back on this and be like, wow, all these adult jokes. The adult jokes in this movie are lame. At one point, Ruby's mom goes, "That house was in escrow." Nobody laughed at that joke. No one cares. Another thing that people didn't seem to like was that Ruby ended up being a princess. She was a kraken princess, and that's why she's giant and has all these special powers. And we can argue that every girl in a movie doesn't have to be a princess. But also, one of my favorite books is A Little Princess that says every girl's a princess. And when Ruby meets her grandmother, apparently there was a bunch of other giant krakens too, but they're all dead now, which is a shame. It would have been nice to see her have a bigger family than just her grandma, uncle. And speaking of characters that we don't really get to see, we do not get a lot of mermaids in this film. We get Chelsea, and Chelsea says that all the other mermaids are in hiding, but even when she gets the trident and she goes on her rampage and everything, we don't see the other mermaids. They don't show up. That was so lame. I was hoping that like more would show up, you know, have it be a big battle, but whatever, they didn't go that route. One other thing I really did not like about this movie was the art style. Again, everyone like Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots, but we don't have to have every movie look like those two movies. I just didn't like the designs of the characters. Sure, they were more like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball character designs, but with their hands and everything, I was just thinking of the hot dog hand world from Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was so distracting and I really disliked it throughout the whole movie. Thankfully, we do not spend a lot of time in the human world. We're mostly underwater where the animation is like way better, but we're also with like only 3 characters underwater: Ruby, her grandma, and Chelsea. And I actually really like Chelsea's design. Like when she turns into the evil mermaid queen in the end, it's just a really cool look, I think. I loved her like waterfall hair and all that. It had this like deep sea fish look that I really liked, even though her disguise mermaid self is more like a parody of Ariel from The Little Mermaid, even though she also gave me Hal vibes from Megamind. Like they're both the redheads that end up being evil in the end, and then as soon as they're like defeated, they go back to being like goofy. And one more thing about the story. So krakens rule the seas, right? They beat all the other monsters and they're all powerful, all that. And mermaids are evil because they want to take them down, like a bunch of other sea creatures. And at some point, I'm just like, well, why not let the mermaids just take over? Who cares? What's gonna happen? I imagined if the mermaids took over and they were all like Chelsea, it would turn into, it'd kind of be like the basic popular girl taking over, and everything would reflect that. It would just be pumpkin spice lattes and So yeah, even though there were things I disliked about the movie, I wouldn't say I hated it. I can never hate a movie that's animated, original, and not a musical. If there's any DreamWorks movie I hate, it's Trolls. I do think though that this idea would have been better suited for a short series, just to have everyone fleshed out a little bit more, do secret training and hang out with Chelsea. We don't need more of the human friends. Again, I didn't care for any of them. And maybe we can just have more mermaids in this movie about evil mermaids. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to make a quick video about Ruby Gillman while I'm working on other stuff and just being really busy with real life stuff. The movie would be like 5 out of 10. No, you know what? I'm gonna say 6.5 out of 10. I'll most likely rewatch this a few times in the future, not gonna lie. And yeah, hope you're having a good summer. Bye.